Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
July 16th, 1945. The trendy site revealed to the world the capabilities of the first atomic bomb, turning the sand into irradiated glass and spewing radioactive material into the atmosphere. Here's that same ground zero today. 2 days out of the year, the blast site opens up as a tourist attraction, providing historical picture spots and education to all those who come. But one key detail is left out from the interactive tables and provided concessions, and that's the local New Mexicans who were harmed when the mushroom expanded into the sky.
And right here is ground zero where the trendy bomb was detonated, but it was not detonated in a remote area. As you can see, according to the US Census and this map of the radiation affected area, nearly upwards of almost 200,000 people were affected when this blast was launched. And sadly, many generations are still feeling these effects to this day.
Meet the trendy downwinders, who are descendants of locals from around the Tularosa Basin when the bomb was detonated. The detonation created lasting radiation that created generational-long health issues such as cancer.
I'm the fourth generation in my family to have cancer since 1945. I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer when I was 39, and the first thing they asked me was, when were you exposed to radiation?
They're fighting for recognition from the U.S. government and compensation for the health issues that are still confronting their families today.
It's not a question of if we get it, it's a question of when. And that's stressful. That's a lot of stress to live with in your life. And so it's a shame that we cannot get any compensation. I think they're waiting for all of us to die off.
And with knowledge that other downwinders from areas such as the Nevada test site have received compensation, they're not going to give up the fight anytime soon. Jaden Awan, News 22.
Renee Beltran moved to Mesilla 6 years ago so that she could raise her children in a safe neighborhood. She says that this is the perfect, quiet place.
I'm surrounded by agriculture, so I feel like I'm in a really healthy, quiet place.
But she's afraid the quiet and scenic views could soon be gone. That's because the Mesilla City Council alerted residents close to the Town Hall Park they're considering plans to allow Verizon to build a 60-foot cell tower.
I was so shocked.
The reason for the tower? To ensure better cell service for first responders so they don't miss calls.
For residents living in either historic Mesilla or the surrounding neighborhoods, the idea of constructing a 60-foot cell tower is not in their interests. Residents say that constructing the tower will not only go against current Mesilla building codes, but will also not fit the general design of the buildings located right here downtown.
The next item is public input.
Mesilla residents voiced their frustration at a recent town council meeting.
But as it stands now, it feels so crucial. Nobody wants that cell tower in beautiful Mesilla. It's 60 feet high. It will be seen all over town. There won't be a place where it won't be visible.
Mesilla will look more like an industrial zone than a historic town.
First and foremost, I'm for connectivity for everyone. I think it's a right that we deserve because our lives, our jobs, our schooling is so integrally tied to it. But I don't believe that this is the only place it would be successful. If that were to be proven, I would feel like it was a right that we all need to bear to make things more equal for people in terms of access.
For now, the town is planning to negotiate with Verizon to explore other options. Noah Apodaca, News 22.
Because we did have an earthquake out in West Texas yesterday around 2:30 Mountain Time. It was a 5.3 magnitude earthquake. It was just outside of Pecos, but it did extend all the way in El Paso, and many of us here in Las Cruces did feel those shakes. This is one of the biggest earthquakes to hit West Texas since 1931, when there was a magnitude 6 earthquake. Now take a look at our next map and take a look at what the United States is going to look like for your Thanksgiving. We're going to see a lot of rain activity out in the southeast coast. Lots of rain activity, snow showers up in Chicago, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Here in New Mexico, we could be seeing some snow up in Albuquerque, Taos, and Santa Fe.
The Corbett Center Ballroom is not where you'd expect to see people hanging t-shirts on a clothesline, but it was just that last Thursday. Nevea Guevara was one of the volunteers for the Clothesline Project. It's a 32-year-old event to remember the victims of assault and abuse. She understands it all too well.
I was a victim of child sexual assault when I was younger, and so that's what my shirt's about.
The Clothesline Project started in 1990 in Massachusetts. This is the first time it's been held on the NMSU campus.
We wanted to bring the awareness of the violence and abuse.
Anyone could come in, pick a shirt, and decorate it in honor of someone who's been a victim of assault and abuse. Many of the decorations are personal to a particular abuse victim, and other messages are broader, telling the overall seriousness of the problem. The colors of each one of these shirts represents a different form of violence, like this one right here, which represents those who were attacked because of their sexual orientation. And it's the one that Eric chose to share his friend's story.
A couple of years ago, I have a friend that he came out as a gay person who and somebody, one of the closest friend, they talked to him and pretty much they don't accept him. A couple of days later, he decided to kill himself.
The message on his shirt is that words can also be a deadly assault. Nevea fought back against her abuser.
I did go to court. I did get the guy convicted.
But she knows not everyone is able to. She just hopes her story will encourage other victims and give the knowledge that there are people who can help. Natalia Fernandez, News 22.
In 2019, Jimenez Anaconda started Full Circle Mushrooms in La Mesa, New Mexico.
In this room, we have some white oysters.
Despite being in the desert, she found a way to grow them.
We are in the desert. We're in the middle of the desert, so they don't grow naturally here. So we are able to bring that to this area.
Jimena wanted to grow good, nutritious food and do it in a sustainable way. In fact, her mission statement says for the health of her customers and the planet.
They can grow in really small spaces. So if we are efficient with the spaces that we have, we can grow more food in less space with less inputs.
It is super warm and super dry in this region, which is why these rooms equipped with humidifiers are a key factor in the growing process for these mushrooms. The whole process is under strict control.
So creating blocks, sterilizing, incubation, fruiting, and composting. Here we have some lion's mane.
But there is a nutritional payoff.
It definitely opened my eyes just to how powerful they can be as a sustainable food source. My eyes have been completely open to the nutritional benefits, health benefits.
Oh, that was a big one.
Boosting your immune system and providing vitamin D are just a few of the many health benefits mushrooms provide, and for these reasons, Full Circle has become popular at the Las Cruces Farmers Market.
It's almost as good as the mitake texture.
I really like buying the mushrooms, and it was amazing, like the flavors and all the different kinds.
Jimenez even figured out a way to share the knowledge. With their grow kits, customers are able to grow their own mushrooms at home.
Yeah, if you do it well, you can get up to 3 pounds of mushrooms.
I think it's amazing. When we were done with our grow kits, we actually put them in our garden. So it's like a full circle, just like the name, and it's amazing. And I really have had a lot of fun, and I love what she is representing and fighting for, and that it's a women's company. Like the whole thing is just really neat.
We want to be the Patagonia of farms, a role model in agribusiness that shows that yes, you can be a business, and yes, you can do good for the planet.
Full Circle Mushrooms is only 4 years old. Jimena says New Mexico mushrooms will never replace chili, but she says they definitely have a place on the table. Daniel Espinoza, News 22.
Hola, muy buenas tardes. Yo soy Karen Sánchez. Gracias por estar con nosotros en Noticias 22. La Policía Estatal de Nuevo México está investigando un accidente automovilístico ocurrido ayer por la tarde.
El director atlético Mario Mocha recibió una extensión de contrato por 5 años.
El Senado de la Facultad de la Universidad Estatal de Nuevo México ha escrito una carta a la Junta de Regentes de NMSU, el canciller interno Gosh y el rector y director académico Shoho, donde piden una resolución con respecto a la renovación del contrato.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.